I got to tell you something. I was saying this on the radio show. Lindsay Randall, who co-hosts with me, I have never seen an issue, Florida or anywhere, but since we're Florida based, I've never seen an issue like AI that has just bit people in the rear end. I mean, bit them like 5 months ago. I know Matt O'Hearn was onto this, and it just pains me to admit that. But anyway, I know AI data centers. I just didn't realize it was that big of an issue. I'm into AI. I have no problem, but the AI data centers. And so the Washington Post came out with an analysis, and the polling numbers show that 40% of the candidates nationwide, but even most of them here in Florida, are talking about the AI data situation. And I get it. And they say that the analysis going into the election for both parties is in 2028, that the AI data is going to be it's going to be right up there with the economy and other issues as well. And Lindsay, like I said, I didn't realize, with, people when they were doing exit polling on Byron, I voted against him because of the AI data centers as well, and because he supports it. I got news for you. I didn't realize it was that. I mean, I knew it was an issue. I didn't realize how quickly that became an issue.
Yeah, it's spread like wildfire. I was a little shocked too, but I'm glad. I'm glad we're having this discussion in the country, and specifically Florida. But I think one of the questions that I have is, how is our data going to be private? What's to say, and who's to say that this isn't going to enable some efficient search where the government or companies can track essentially every move, and we already are basically there, but it's going to be an even more efficient way to do it. And so if we have another, God forbid, a shutdown like COVID, if power in the wrong hands, that could actually wreak havoc on our country. And frankly, I'm a little terrified of it. Not to mention all the young people that are graduating from colleges across the country that don't know what's going to happen with their future job prospects. All of this is up in the air. Nobody's talking about what's actually going to happen because nobody really knows, or the people that do are being quiet about it. So I think it makes a lot of people nervous. It makes I'm a little nervous for my children when they grow up, and how they're going to grow up in this world.
So, by the way, I've got a lot of men that just want to flock camera Lindsay. Please, can I go on a side note? Because I want to get into flock cameras. I have a theory on this. I am not Lindsay.
Matt, help me.
Okay. I am not Tinder.com. I don't own it. Lindsay, yes, is on the market. All the other stuff. I mean, I get a lot of great compliments. Guys, I got anything else better than to do and then to give you Lindsay's number. Okay. Well, for the right price, I might. But anyway, it's a compliment towards Lindsay. No, Lindsay, they love the brain. That's what they love about you, of course. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
thank you.
I know it's a compliment, So
Matt, this is any second now. You can
yeah. So anyway, now it's just like, oh man. No, I had one of our biggest advertisers going, man, I've been watching you guys religiously, and I sure like that Lindsay. And I'm like, I know we all love Lindsay as well. And I was just leaving it at that. Oh, he can't want to talk about Lindsay. I'm like, okay, listen. Lindsay's cool, but I got to get to business and everything else out there. And it was just nice combo. Anyway, but Lindsay and Matt, I have a conspiracy. I'm going to sound like Lindsay here. So we've got the topic of flock cameras. Okay. I think that might be a little overrated. I can get into that because cops can go ahead and get your information through NCIS background. But I got to tell you, I think there's a reason why Lindsay's point, pains me to say this. Lindsay may have a point, the whole Area 51. Lindsay may have a point here where people are worried about their privacy. Now, follow me now. AI. Then there's the flock cameras. Again, I understand the invasion of privacy. Do you know why I think that is? It's HOAs. What am I? Follow me now. I bring up HOAs on my radio show. Oh my! Somebody just walked over your grave, Johnny Ringo. You're all pissed off. Nobody likes their HOAs because they don't like, as one of my friends used to say, a bunch of Gestapo Nazis out there. An 80-year-old woman is out there walking her dog for exercise, and they're too busy looking at your grass. I've had more people tell me I can't stand my neighbors. They're an invasion of my privacy. And by the way, HOAs, I did not know this, Matt, here until the governor reformed some of these laws, that if you wanted to do work inside your house, You had to get I'm talking
in some places.
not even you got to get HOA approval. And I'm sitting there going,
insane.
It's gotten worse about the HOAs. More people like, it's an invasion of my privacy. The neighbors, and that I'm thinking, that's to my view. This is one of the reasons why you got a lot of people now becoming
one more thing.
The downside of AI, and of course the flock cameras. They don't like their privacy being invaded anymore. And I'm thinking, man, HOAs. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I'm by no means a member of an HOA, and for the reasons you just said, probably never will be. I like your thought there that just the whole invasion of privacy. It's how much can we be squeezed? I mean, I don't even like it when I get unsolicited text messages from political campaigns because I'm like, I know I didn't give you my info.
But all that's public.
It gets to the point where you start to wonder, where is the line finally drawn? And over in Volusia County, I'm looking at it right now. Just last night, their county led an ordinance to block large-scale data centers just last night. So you're seeing this real-time emerge as, I would argue, the second biggest issue to the economy, and it's directly tied into the economy. It's not going away anytime soon. This is going to be a headache. And David Jolly already has his campaign ads made for him, thanks to some of the things that Byron Donalds has said. And I'm not saying that to bash Byron Donalds. I'm just saying what the reality is. You cannot deny the fact that he's embraced them.
All right,
and now he's going to have to defend them.
To your point, there was an ad I think Renner ran in the race, or might have been a PAC or might have been Collins, where they used that Donalds took AI backed by China money to fund it, or money backed by China.
Back to China.
I got news for you. I don't, Lindsay, accept the Democrats' view in Congress on the war with Iran. I don't know Democrats that will defend Iran. I don't know Democrats that will defend China. And Republicans certainly don't like China.
Swalwell.
Right. And so what I'm saying is you may find something to Matt's point where Republicans don't like anything China backed. Okay. And I think Democrats probably wouldn't like it either. But I mean, maybe I'm playing a little bit too much inside baseball. But if you're going to run an ad like he just said with, David Jolly against Byron on China-backed money for AI data centers, I don't think that sells with independents.
It will. It will. I think it will. I think the China part's second. The China part's secondary. Let me clarify. The China aspect, I think, is actually secondary.
I agree.
The overall issue is hitting it on its own. So
yeah, I mean, I think it does sell. I'm sorry. I think it does sell. That's what I meant to say. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Yeah, I think that the China thing is definitely secondary. I totally agree with you, Matt, and Ed, because I think at the end of the day, I think there's been a big argument from the pro, AI data center people. They're like, it's like a race, against China. I'm like, I don't give a flip about China. I care about the U.S. I mean, I get it, the technology and all, but this issue is so much bigger than just a race against China. It just, that to me is so short-sighted, and it's like a sit down and shut up and don't ask questions kind of thing. And I don't like it at all. It's like, tell me why this is going to be good for my country and my city and my state and my children and my future grandchildren, and then we can talk about it.
And Ed Lynch was on here. Ed Lynch was on here a couple weeks ago, and he tried to make the point, which is a true point, where he said that there's already a bunch of data centers already built. Okay, well, that may be true, and it is true, but it doesn't change the fact. It doesn't mean we should just accept more. And I see where he's coming from. The fact that a lot of them already are in place and not necessarily destroying everything, but the average voter doesn't know that much about these and feels like they just crept up out of nowhere. And when you combine that with what they feel like is overdevelopment, especially in places in Florida like Claremont and Winter Garden, people feel like their local community has completely changed, not just within the past 10 years, but as recent as the past 2 or 3 years. Yep. And this is just magnifying it.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, and I actually met a developer in an airport. This is just a couple weeks ago. And he actually works for one of the companies that they build these data centers. And at first he said, I was all about, he was probably late 50s, early 60s. He said, first I was all about it. This is great. He said, now I've had kind of, he didn't say come to Jesus, but kind of like a challenge to my thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, I don't think we need any more of these. He's like, I'm actually worried about what's the result of this is going to be. And he was also talking about how obsolete they're going to be technology wise in several years. I mean, how quick technology changes.
Well,
he was concerned about that too. And it could be the way that they were being built or what have you.
Well,
but he is worried about it.
They may be obsolete for AI. I don't think I'm going to get too nerdy here. They may be obsolete for AI purposes, but we're always going to need data storage. That's a fact. And
right.
There was a point where Zuckerberg and some of the as Google guys as well were talking about possibly even buying barges to put in the ocean as places to hold
do it in
data.
space.
That's never going to go away. That's always going to be.
The concerns from Lindsay and others are there, but it's been around for years. It's like, we talked about, what was it the other day, about mail-in ballots and how you have voting fraud's been around for 30 years. I mean, and there's been voting fraud of people.
It's still bad.
Yeah, but hold on. But back in the day, there was they would pay people to vote here, and there, because before all the IDs kicked in. That's voter fraud. It's just a different form today. But these individuals can get a hold of the information. The goal is to create a guardrail so they can't get a hold of your information. We do everything online with our banking and everything else. There's nothing overall to prevent them. You just got to be honest. But, a teller, like a cop, can use a flock camera. A cop can use an NCI. A cop can use information from a dispatcher to find out your arrest record. You don't need a flock camera for that. I think the flock cameras with digital, whatever, through AI is good for Amber Alerts. It's good to find people whatsoever. I mean, look what we've done. We found assassinations. We've used cameras to think. I just think there's nothing preventing them from getting your information right now. And by the way, whoever is in charge can always misabuse it. That's
right.
Just a fact.
But how are you going to prevent the abuse? That's what I want to know. And that's what I want to make sure.
Right.
Well, how do you prevent fraud and abuse? You make it stronger. That's how it happens. You're not going to prevent it. Nothing's 100% foolproof.
Well, look at Homeland Security, where it did change. It did make some changes where I agree that in certain circumstances, a warrant needed to be expedited. When, for example, there were a couple of people who were caught talking about the Brooklyn Bridge a lot, and they were saying things in another language. Long story short, they found out these were terrorists plotting and were able to arrest them quicker than before Homeland Security came in. But as we all know, there was a lot of other things in that bill with Homeland Security that crept up that we didn't realize we were giving permission to. And I think from what Lindsay's saying, what it sounds like is the flock cameras, they're justifying it by, like you were saying, the Amber Alerts and the kidnappings. Okay, if we knew it was going to be limited to that, I think everybody would be fine with it. But
you can't limit it.
Throw in the possibility of curfew enforcement for lockdowns, things like that.
You have to show constant traffic moving through. You just limit the information to that. Oh, we were chasing an Amber Alert. All the information we don't need to find out.
Who's in charge of that, Ed? I think that's. Yeah, I think the concern is, but who's going to watch the? What's the old saying?
Who wants to watch a bunch of people with their? Yeah,
who's going to watch the watchers?
Who wants to watch a bunch of people looking at by traffic? No, they're looking for an Amber Alert and stuff like that.
No,
I don't think there's
what happens if you say the wrong
enemy
thing?
of the state people movie where they're out there looking for your data because they're bored.
I mean, we lived through COVID. They were literally hunting people down for essentially going outside and breathing in, and that's terrifying to me. That something like that could happen again.
But Lindsay,
this only makes
finding people looking at a license plate are two different things. I agree, it was wrong.
I mean, I get it. Like, look, I wear this Apple Watch. It tracks me everywhere. I'm like, I should be the first one.
She took off her Rolex for the thing so she showed her Apple Watch.
You shouldn't have said that. Now all these crazy fans are going to start trying to.
Throw it in the ocean, you know. But at the end of the day, we're already being tracked. We're already being monitored. Our phones listen to everything. I get ads all the time of stuff I've never searched. All of a sudden, these ads start popping up. And actually, the other day, I went into a store. I bought this brand of. It was like a little one of the little cups and one of these kind of things, and I'd never bought it before. Literally, it was nothing but cake. I bought it with my credit card. I went home and I got an ad for that very same brand. I was like, wait, what? I've never searched this brand. I don't even own this brand except in the last 30 minutes.
They have something in their store that knows you were there.
Yes.
That's how it works.
Okay, hold on. That's fair enough. I'm not. How is that threatening your life?
I'm not saying it's threatening that's not threatening my life.
You have too many bun cakes, Ed.
Wow, okay,
that could threaten my life. That could definitely threaten my life. I get diabetes next year. But at the end of the day, it's about privacy, and I think that we haven't talked enough about it in the country. We've just allowed it to happen, and I think we've been frogged in the frying pan. for a lot of
cops
this.
are all in favor of it. Cops got anything else? But can I tell you something? The role of cops has changed. Cops aren't looking for a boatload of speeders anymore. They're not looking for a bunch of people smoking weed. They're looking for the worst of the worst of the worst. And they got anything else better to do than to find out your personal information. Trust me, they want arrest and they want to get in the news. Get into news because, we tracked down somebody with a flock.
It doesn't have to be the cops.
They get no pleasure out of finding your personal information. Okay, trust me. They want to bust the people and Amber Alerts and everything else out there.
Where is that data being stored?
I'm with
you.
But you got a database stored in the NCIS background check.
I know it.
You got files, so there's nothing preventing them from doing any damage that way.
One more possible exposure, though, I think is what Lindsay's been getting at.
Okay, but this is on video to make sure, again, to what the cops are saying, is to make sure that if somebody gets lost, we got to track somebody down who had a shooting. We've got cameras outside of the Walmart. Lindsay doesn't even like that. I don't have a problem with that. I want to find out when somebody gets busted, I want to catch these people on camera, not because the cop saw them. No, it's because the cop saw them and was backed up by video, like having a what is it? The cams they want to have on you now, officer cams. I don't have any problem with that. Well, that's an invasion of my No, it just proves the point that they're saying the reason why we had to pull somebody over or go after somebody. It makes it more legit. I'm just trying to tell you, they got anything else better to do than to find out your information from a license plate.
It's fine unless it's weaponized against you.
And
it's fine.
I agree.
It's fine until
we hate them until we need them to find out our loved ones on an Amber Alert. So it's the opposite way.
I'm not worried about the Amber Alert stuff. I'm not worried about the Silver Alert stuff. I'm worried about if we have another COVID-like incident and a shutdown or whatever the next thing will be, what will happen then? And what happens when the feds say, "Hey, listen, you gotta give us all this data, and we gotta track Ed Dean." And then he's gonna know. They're gonna know where you went to church. They're gonna say, "Oh, look, he went to get his blood drawn." They're gonna piece it all together, and I don't know what that could be.
But that's like saying,
but I worry about that.
Yeah, but that's like saying we could end up having another civil war. I mean, they were all saying
we could.
Hey, listen,
I mean, this rate.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda. I don't live our life on woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's great to talk about. Your point is valid on the whole COVID. I don't think we're ever going to go through that again. And nobody and by the way, civil libertarians aren't going to put up with that crap. I don't think it's going to happen again. I don't think nobody's going to go down the path.
You know what my favorite counterattack to the crackdown was? There was a dumb loophole where if you were at the beach but fishing, if you were fishing, you were allowed to be there. So one of my buddies actually went out with his kids and just got one of those PVC pipes and threw the pole in. And once he saw the police come down, he just walked over to the fish. Hey, we're fishing. But it's like, it just goes to show you how crazy things are and how crazy things can get.
And how fast it went, too.
That's going to be in the back of the minds of any of us who lived through those years for the rest of our lives, I think.
It is a good discussion. I get it. I just think you got to have guardrails. I mean, it's like saying, I don't want to do my banking online. No, I'll do my banking online, but I want to make sure that the protection is there. Get what I'm saying? Nobody's stopping the banking online. In fact, I'm more worried about my banking online than I'm worried about some flock camera. Okay. Anyway,
I'm worried about both.
I know. Lindsay, the only person around here who's got to worry about is you.
Churn your butter, people. Churn your butter.
Yeah. So anyway, I just don't want a flock camera at the assisting living facilities because that's somehow the lemon just there to love me. I'm like,
I know. And I got to ask one more good one. Have either of you actually ever heard of the term cave people and what the abbreviation stands for? It's pretty funny.
Cave people?
Cave.
No.
It stands for Citizens Against Virtually Everything.
Oh.
And they're the ones that go to every single county commission.
On that here. Trust me.
They go to every single city and county commission. There's always like one old lady who just camps out at those things, and no matter what
I'll bet you if they had flock cameras at Lindsay's school to make sure that the kids were behaving, parents would be in favor of it.
They are behaving. They don't need flock cameras to do it. They have self-government, actually, Ed Dean. Unlike some people I know.
I love it. I love it. All right. The good discussion. I love it. Oh, Ed Dean from the Area 51 crowd, cave crowd, Lindsay Randall, anyway, Matt O'Hearn, who looks like he should be president of the cave crowd. But anyway, I'm joking with
Working on that.
Matt, what's up with that hat? Is that App State?
Yes. One of my best friends went there. It's where I went to go party when I was young.
Heathen, where's that FSU hat? Sell out. All right. Another edition.
I live in the Gator. That doesn't fly here.
I know. All right.
I have to watch the games.
So, all right. So, again, don't forget to like, subscribe to our page. Florida Daily Show. And again, you can watch us all things right here at floridadaily.com.